Hey, there you go. Okay. I've only done this once. So
All right. This is the new normal.
yeah, I hate that term. Like all these terms that are coming out now that everybody's using, like this is a fluid situation. I don't want to hear that word ever again, you know? Like,
I want to be back to the real normal.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
So
totally understand.
nice backdrop though. That's the house. I like the
Yeah, I'm actually at my in-laws currently.
oh,
So I'm actually watching it snow outside. So a little different from Texas.
where are you?
I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh, don't you know that?
Oh
I
my,
do, yeah.
Yeah.
my goodness.
You got the
Yeah.
Texas star behind you in your shirt. I figured, it looks like you're right down here with us.
Yeah, I wish. No, we get back on Sunday, so
Cool.
Well, glad you missed yesterday. It was 94 degrees.
oh my gosh, man. I'm on Twitter quite a bit, like interacting with athletes and stuff, and they were all outside yesterday.
Yeah, it was nice. I was fishing yesterday.
Oh,
So
that sounds lovely.
yeah. But today it cooled off. The next week actually it's just going to be in like the high 60s, low 70s. But I mean I wanted to get hot and burn this freaking thing off. Like
Right, exactly.
I've never wanted the Texas heat so bad in my life.
Yeah, I think that's most of the southern states at this point. Please just bring us a heat wave to kill this.
Yeah. So what's where we go from here?
All right. So yeah, it's really just a conversation, but I want you to kind of introduce yourself, what you guys do, how you train, the whole bit.
Okay. So Steve Jeffers, I have been down here in Texas for 6 years now. Started my own training business back then, coaching hockey, training athletes. I was a head strength conditioning coach for North American Hockey League team down here as well. Been playing hockey my entire life. And then when I got here, I realized that there's a niche in our organization that I was working for. It didn't have any kind of strength conditioning. So
Yep.
I went and got my certification and started my own business. And I actually left the financial industry after 10 years of running a trading desk. So
Fun job.
yeah. So I got to, now I'm doing something that I love. It's been a dream of mine to open and own my own training center.
Yeah.
That it's been 3.5 years in the making. I've been sitting on this business plan, and it finally came to fruition this year. Casey and I have known each other now for probably roughly 5 years.
Right.
He worked with me for a little bit as a consultant trainer throughout that time period. Coached with the Brahmas organization that we both coached for over the years. But he's a phenomenal trainer. He's been doing this a lot longer than me. I'll let him keep going here.
Yeah, I've been training, I guess, professionally for about 10 years since I graduated college. I graduated with a degree in kinesiology, exercise science study. First job right out of college, I started working with athletes immediately, so it was kind of nice. I didn't have to work too hard to build up a clientele base, and it's kind of served me pretty well. So.
Right. Yeah. Heck yeah.
But I mean, if I had to pick a specialty, I'd say it's hard for me to pick a specialty because I do a lot. I do mostly hockey, but that's just because that's what comes to us. I've had, football, baseball. I used to run the figure skating program here at the rink in Euless. I've done general personal training with just, general population. I've worked in several big corporate facilities as well, both as a trainer and on the management side, which is a totally different animal. It's all about sales and numbers and anything else, but I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we got this going, it was a no-brainer to, reach out to Casey. Casey's my director of strength conditioning, kind of oversees that side of our business, and allows me to kind of focus on the hockey skill development side of our business. So if you walk into our facility we have a 3,500 square foot facility within the lobby of the Dallas Stars Children's Health Center here in Euless, Texas.
Yep.
So when you walk in our facility, half of it has about 1,000 square feet of synthetic ice, which we can use our actual hockey skates on. We have a whole netting kind of scenario with basically 3 it looks like batting cage lanes, right? Where we can, we use for shooting lanes and coaching lessons and shooting lessons and stick handling lessons, and individually and in small groups. We also have what they call a rapid shot hockey training system. This is like a legitimate batting cage for hockey players. It passes 16 pucks to you.
Wow. Okay.
As you catch passes, the net will light up and tell you where to shoot. So you have to keep your head up. And it keeps track of your reaction time, how hard your shot is, and then gives you a numerical score that you're able to track so you can see your progress over a period of time. It's the only rapid shot in the Southwest United States, and we have it here.
Wow. Okay.
Quite a tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're pretty proud of our baby right there.
Kids love it too. We have, a leaderboard on the rapid shot, and they're all trying to beat each other here at the facility, but they're also chasing the world rankings too, because you can literally find yourself and see where you rank against kids your own age, or people your own age, against anyone that uses a rapid shot in the entire world.
Yeah, globally. Rapid Shot keeps their global database up and running.
That's cool.
Daily. Yeah. So it's
do you guys? How often do you guys work with high school kids?
Both of us coach high school teams, so.
Oh shoot! What teams do you guys coach?
I coach Grapevine Colleyville varsity team.
I coach Northwest ISD.
Yep.
That's a first-year program. After a hiatus of like 10 years, we redeveloped the program this past season. So we only have a JV program right now.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of people moving out that way here in Texas. So there's a lot of legs underneath this particular program. We're hoping we may have 2 teams this year, 2 different JV teams, and then next year we'll have varsity and JV.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
My team will have varsity and JV again this year. Plus, we have, I'd say, pretty outstanding relationships with the other high school teams that use this rink. We've been in we were in conversations with them until this coronavirus hit about having, 3 or 4 actual varsity teams using our facility for the summertime. So.
Oh.
Hopefully we can.
So there's some stuff that we could collaborate on pretty good once all this virus stuff is over with.
Yeah, there's 4 high school programs that practice out of this Euless rink. So even during the course of the season, the high school season starts say end of September and goes until end of February.
Yep.
I'd say it's easily 300 kids.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Between the 4 or 5 teams that practice out of here. Well, 4 teams that we were sure practice out of here, and each program has 2 teams, varsity and JV.
Except for Flower Mound, who has like 8 teams.
Yeah, we got a lot of kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're reaching out to those board members and those particular programs about having a training session one night a week here, just for that particular program.
Gotcha. Yeah, when I was at Plano East, they had a hockey program, but it was obviously like UIL's not doing hockey yet.
They probably won't either.
Not for a while, but which is actually not a bad thing in my opinion, because then you don't have to your hockey guys can stay hockey guys and they don't have to be teachers.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
That's the same way with lacrosse. I'm like, man, some of these people are they're specialists, man. They know their sport. Don't make them go teach. I hate that about the UIL, but it is what it is.
I'm already in my classroom. I got a weight room and a hockey rink. That's my
Exactly.
classroom. That's all I need.
So talk to me about how this coronavirus stuff has affected you guys as a training facility.
Well, like I said, new business. We developed, I've been sitting on this business plan for 3.5 years. I have one financial partner, and she and I kind of hit the ground running in September, signed our lease here in October, built out 3 months. We opened just before Christmas and had like a big open house. And then January really hit the ground running. In our first full month of business, we had a financial profit, which is unbelievable. February, we had another profitable month. So two months out of the gate, in the black, which is phenomenal. And then this hits, right? And even in the first half of March, over spring break, we had a spring break mini camp here where we wanted 30 kids over the course of the week. We had 26 sign up. It was just people are really seeing, over the course of those 2.5 months, people are really starting to see, what we're doing and how it's benefiting. A lot of feedback from parents, positive feedback from parents. We're the only training center of its kind down here. And now we're just at a complete standstill. So
literal standstill.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So we've worked with our, with the city on our lease, and they're doing some great things for us. Obviously we don't have any payroll right now. We've talked to all our vendors, and they're doing some things to alleviate some of the pressure, which is phenomenal. So I think we're sitting as pretty as we can possibly can.
Yeah.
Without doing any business.
Without doing any business, yeah. And we have some money in the bank, thankfully, over those first 2 months that we have some time to get through this.
Okay.
We submitted all our paperwork for the SBA stuff, but who knows if how long that's going to take.
Right.
So it's the frustrating part for us is just all the buildup, right? All the kids that are especially coming into the spring and summer where that's our bread and butter. I mean, that's where kids are out of school. That's where our junior guys are home from their teams. Our college guys are home from school. That's where we really ramp up training. And, not to say that we can't still do that. We just need the go ahead, and we need to be able to open these doors. June 1st is that's when our summer really was going to start to begin with, and we're still on track for that, but
right.
we're going to play a little bit of catch up.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully this stuff just, blows over quick.
Yeah, usually
hopefully the bulk of it is done and everybody can get back to work.
Yeah. Usually we use this current time to kind of gear up and ramp up towards the summer. Right. Like we get increasingly busier every week the closer we get to the end of May, early June, except we can't right now.
We just had, high school hockey season ended in February. Travel season ended in end of February. And so we actually started to see people increasing their loads from a 1-day-a-week training session to a 2-day, 2-day to a 3-day, additional hockey, additional shooting lessons, additional rapid shot time. I mean, we were starting to see the increase in sales till this hit, and
plummets.
So we're certainly trending in the right way. My hope is that coming out of this, because we're a niche kind of, market, hockey players, everyone's in the same boat too. It's not like guys are really, they're not like they're skating somewhere else or working out somewhere else or losing clientele. I feel like, I think once this passes, I think we'll get back to where we are just because of our specialty and how good we are at it. But it's just a matter of when that will be.
Yeah, right. Can't plan for that right now. Okay. So are you guys doing anything like outside of that in terms of like social distancing or like trying to train guys one-on-one or anything like that?
We haven't. We've had people ask us about the whole online training and Zoom training, and both Casey and I agree. We're a real hands-on kind of trainers, and that's our bread and butter. And I think that's why people appreciate what we do, is because you just can't get the same personal technique and personal communication. And I don't. I don't also feel like there's any kind of revenue stream behind it with so much free training out. I mean, you can go on YouTube and type in at-home training, and there's people doing all sorts of stuff. And
Right.
some people are really good at it, and some people have no idea what they're doing. And it also bothers us that these kids, and we've seen parents post videos of players doing, their kids doing stuff, and I just cringe. I'm like, why? That's terrible. That's
What's the point?
so it's so silly. The exercise doesn't make any sense. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's effective. Like, there's just a lot of things wrong with it. And I had somebody say, well, why don't you do your own thing? I go, but the time value for me doesn't make sense. Like, I hate to say it, but it's just not worth my time.
Yeah. Your credibility is built in face to face.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think both of us like to think of us, we're kind of technicians at heart. So if I see something wrong, if I'm not actually there to show the person how to fix it, it's very hard to explain in front of a computer screen.
Right. It's not the same at all.
No, it's not. It really isn't.
So talk to me going forward, man, once all this stuff hopefully ends as soon as possible, what your goals would be for the rest of 2020 post-virus.
We spoke today kind of throughout our workout. Casey and I are starting to come up to the training center weekly and work out ourselves.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do something. Of sitting on the couch watching Ray Donovan was only so much I could take.
Who's that?
But anyway, we were talking today about starting to launch our spring camp, our spring pro starting in June, what we wanted to do there. The hockey organizations and they've already announced tryouts as of August 1st. So that's kind of a goal for us to make sure that we can, when we do open, that we get our kids kind of in training, set and ready by August 1st.
Gotcha.
Middle of August is when the tryouts are. Again, approaching high school programs for the upcoming season. What else? I mean,
I think ideally, once this is over, as long as we, still have some summertime, I guess a little bit more detailed into that is obviously we want to get the kids that are going to be trying out for local teams, trying out and making whatever team they want or they're going out for. But additionally, on top of that, we have, several of our junior kids that are now aging up and are ready to go on to college. So we're hoping to get them to help get them to the colleges they want. And
right.
so forth.
Yeah.
And once the season actually starts, our day-to-day training isn't as heavy because the kids are back in school. They're playing on their teams 2, 3, 4 days a week. So we'll try and gear towards work with as many kids as we can as far as keeping the results and the, all the success they had over the summer and winter breaks throughout the season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we usually hit a lull in August, September, as kids, 1, go back to school, and 2, start their seasons locally. And then once they get into their routine, then they can find days that they can get here and get supplemental training. So we usually see a lull in August, September, and then October it'll pick back up a little bit.
Ideally, by that time, the high school teams have started.
Exactly.
All the teams we've been talking to will be training as a team with us anywhere from 1 to 2 times a week. So that would be anywhere from, I would say at minimum, we're looking at 4 teams in general being in here. At the best case scenario, we could have upwards of 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And in our facility, that's full. Like,
yeah. There's also a Tier 3 junior hockey team that plays out of here in the North American 3AHL, the ULIS Stars, or Mid-City. They're called the Mid-City Stars.
Okay. Yeah.
So they play out of this facility. So, they practice out of here daily.
their owner actually approached me at the end of the season to see if we can sit down and work something out, and then obviously coronavirus. So
Yeah, right. Kind of puts a halt on everything.
That's another higher level hockey program that we have the ability to work with, market to.
Yeah.
in a variety of ways, not just working out and skill development, but again, we're talking to you from our conference room, our video room. I have a 55-inch TV that we're looking at with you on it.
Nice.
Your big, beautiful face right there. No, but so we have, ability to offer video with players, families.
Coaching at that high level too, because we both have coached at that level. Jeffers coached for the Brahmas a couple of years before I did, and then I actually coached the team that won the national championship last year. So
in terms of going forward with all of us, because I know, man, we'd like to get involved with what you guys are doing, especially in terms of like nutrition education and things like that.
Yes. I guess that's a good point. How do you fit into what we do?
Right. And I think that's something that we need to critically think about because, and really, man, I'm a face-to-face guy. Like this is great, but it's also like, I'd rather just meet with you in person,
Oh, yeah. I would love for you to come in here and check this place out.
Yeah. Let's sit down and have some lunch and go through like everything in specific of how this could be beneficial for us, but also like beneficial for you guys. I mean, if it doesn't go both ways, what's the point, So, man, I can't wait for this whole coronavirus stuff to end so we can do that. Hockey for us is a big market, but it's also very, very difficult to get into.
Yeah.
Do you know how many guys eat Chipotle though? I was involved with junior hockey. Casey's involved with junior hockey. All these guys do is after practice is go there like that.
Right.
Easily 3 to 4 days a week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's great, and that's something that we're like. I mean, it obviously my language changes when we start talking about that because it's like it's there, but it's not there to the fullest extent that it could be, And so it's.
I stopped at Chipotle on the way home Tuesday because we were talking about it.
That's hilarious. That's great.
All right, I'm gonna go.
See, and that's the purpose is like, let me get in there, let me talk, these are athletes that are going to be high level athletes and they're going to be elite, but they may not know all aspects of their training that they need to know. I mean, I'm not like the strength and conditioning guru at all by any means. But like I know a thing or two about nutrition and like how to prep your body and what you need pre and post workout. And so it's like, maybe that's an avenue that we can get involved in terms of education. And maybe that's a way that, we could kind of partner with you guys or whatever that looks like. And again, I don't know. I mean, we haven't even looked at any of the specifics or any of that stuff, but
I think it could work out for sure. I know obviously the athletes ask us all the time and I give them plenty of advice and so does Steve, but obviously hearing it from an outside person too, especially, so a lot of the times we get kind of locked into, well, you're my strength conditioning guy. Right. What do I eat? I'm like, well, I'll tell you what to eat. And then they don't do it. Like, well, I like this better. But if it comes from somebody that's actually there, like, hey, nutrition's my thing.
Yeah. And it's like, that's
the other thing is fast food.
In itself.
Like how do you get nutrition out of fast food places?
Yeah.
Right? And that's always a tough thing, right? I mean,
right.
And I told you the other day on the phone, like selfishly for me, like in what I ran a 10K this morning and then I came to the gym and lifted. And so like, I trained for half Ironmans. My plan is to do my first full Ironman next June.
Yeah.
How do I use my nutrition? I like Chipotle. There are healthy options, whether I substitute something for something else, but what can I get out of the nutrition, there?
Right.
Like me and my personal training. And then if that works for me, then I have the ability to talk and discuss that with my athletes and tell them kind of what works for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's, so again, selfishly for me, I love this idea. How to eat properly, right? Everybody needs it.
Sometimes you got to go with priority number one,
Well, if I have the ability to speak to it, then if it works, then I can market it, and then I can speak to it. And then I say, hey, listen, this is what you should do because it works.
Well, right. And that's the most beneficial part for us, and that's what I do. 5-6 days a week is meet with coaches and try and educate them so they can educate their athletes. I mean, it's going to be a lot more beneficial coming from the coach that they see every day and they have the relationship with until they build that relationship with someone like myself, that they're going to listen to you most often more than their parents because of your platform and the way that, the relationship that you have. And so
parents ask us all the time.
Awesome.
Parents are the ones that actually ask us. It's not the players a lot of the time. It's the parents that say, hey, what should little Johnny be eating, if he's in here twice a week, right? Or skating 3 days a week. And you got to think these kids from 9 to juniors, 21, they're skating 4 days a week, 2 practices a week, games on the weekends, plus working out. Even in the summer, they're doing lessons.
Right.
During the season, these little guys are doing, they're working their tails off.
Yeah.
How do you learn how to fuel properly at a young age, right?
Yeah.
So
And it's different. It's different. Age groups are different. I mean,
Sure.
it's not formulated across the board. Like a 9-year-old can't eat what an 18-year-old's eating. It's just not the same. I mean, they need different macronutrient breakdowns. They need different profiles. And so it's, how do you get that? How do you know that? So one of our big specializations is working with parents. Also, so like I'm working with Lone Star High School. That's where I was at previously, and I'm working with them and their strength coach to design some stuff for the parents, because the coaches don't always want to deal with that. Like, they want to talk about ball. They want to talk about like their program. They don't want to have to educate the parents on a separate note, one by one, about what their kids should be eating. And so that's where like we come in. We will do that for them. You're at the rink 3 or 4 days a week. When you leave there, you don't always want to go cook,
Sure.
So how can we most knowledgeably tell you what your kid needs to be eating in terms of macronutrients and ingredients after they work out? And how do you do that without having to, blow your budget on food every single day from the grocery store and your time on cooking it? So, man, I'm all in whenever you guys are.
I also think for us as a facility, again, we're the only training center of its kind down here in this area. Like you'll see our facilities up north in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
In Chicagoland and Pennsylvania and Northeast. We're the only one like it here. And so if we have the ability to continue to offer things that nobody else does,
Yep.
We're just going to continue to separate ourselves and bring in more people and bring in higher level athletes and, really be the showcase training center in this area. And that's what I want. I mean, I've already built it out. Now we just need to continue to build it, right? So.
Well, man, once all this stuff is over with and we can really get like all this stuff built out the way it should be, man, I think we could be a great asset for you guys in terms of, having another just facet or avenue